This business takes tenacity, and the only way you fail in this business is if you quit. The only way you fail in life is if you quit. So you never give up. Never, ever, ever give up.
I love that.
Big it up, big it up.
All right, welcome to Let's Talk Real. We are here with Kelly Gitt of the Gitt team here in Florida. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your team.
Well, so I'm a realtor now for 21 years, single mother of 5. I love helping people. So real estate was a really good natural transition for me after my military commitment.
Really? Okay, military. Thank you for your service. How long were you in the military?
I was in for 4 years, and I was in the Air Force station, mostly stateside.
Okay, so didn't have to go overseas.
No, I was very, very blessed. I was very lucky.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Good. And what made you decide to I'm going to take it way back. What made you decide to go in the military?
because I love this country. No matter what, good, it's not a perfect country, but I love this country. And that felt right to me. There was just really no other question after I got out of high school. I enlisted like within a few weeks of when I graduated high school. So I knew I was going to go in the military and serve.
That's awesome. Yeah. So service has been a part of kind of your DNA. And so then you did your 4 years, you served the country, thank you. And then what was next after that?
Next after that was when my enlistment was completed. I had, time that I was ready to go back and finish up my college education. So I finished up a 4-year degree at University of Nebraska. I actually went to school to go into teaching. And my mom was really an encouragement to me to reconsider going into real estate. And she's been in real estate for many years. I think this is her 34th year, something like that. So she really had encouraged me to go into real estate instead of teaching. And I trust my mother. And so
that's a good thing,
what I did.
right? That's a good thing. And apparently she was right. Turns out.
I will tell you, a lot of us, I think as we come into adulthood, we realize our parents are oftentimes a lot more correct in their recommendations than we think. And yeah, she was right. And I'm really grateful for her encouragement.
Okay. So how long have you been licensed now?
So I can't even honestly remember how far it goes back because I've held licenses in 3 different states. I have my license currently in Nebraska, in Florida. I've also had my license in Colorado. So I want to say probably 99 or 2000 was when I first got my license.
Okay.
And I became a broker back in 2008 and opened up my own brokerage at that time.
Okay. So had a brokerage in 2008, right? Just before, just after, kind of right in the middle of all the turmoil.
Well, it's funny you say that because I never really saw it as turmoil. I actually had worked for a builder during that interim of time. In fact, I was in heavy new construction at that time, and I had a wonderful career. I learned a ton. I always tell folks that it was like learn while you earn, because I had a chance to get very proficient with contract language and contract law and just serving people at a high level and doing a very high volume.
Okay.
I was in a real active community, a real busy community. So, during that time, when I transitioned from new construction and then over into my own brokerage, it was just a real positive time in my life. And even though I became really what I would call a short sale expert,
Okay.
I learned so much, and I was able to help people at a deeper level than what I felt like I had when I worked in new construction. So I'm really feeling very blessed for what I experienced in both.
So the volume sounds like at the new construction and the proficiency kind of prepared you for the turmoil. Being able to serve, and be on it.
Yeah, I just learned a ton, and I'm so grateful for that time that I had the experience in new construction, because I just became just very comfortable and handling contracts on a regular basis. And I was helping probably 50 to 60 families a year at that time, and just really prepared me for going off on my own and having a little bit more flexibility over my schedule than maybe what I had in the new construction realm. But I never really saw it as turmoil. I never, and I think the public needs to know that what we've experienced in our generation, that isn't anything like what, even my
the Depression or any of the other things.
When I'm paying 17% when they bought their first house,
right.
And I was, a little. So I just saw it as another opportunity to serve, and I learned so much through that. So, and I helped a lot of families get through a short sale situation or you know, make transitions during that time. So.
Yeah. Well, whenever there's chaos, there's opportunity, and we can find those moments, and then we can serve. So, so you've been, and then along the way, so military, school teacher, realtor, broker.
I don't even take credit for the whole school teacher thing, because actually I was in my last semester where you had to go and actually be in the classroom, and I was like, this is a no.
This is okay. Abandoned ship.
Go. Yeah, I'm out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I can't even take full credit.
Crash it on. Okay. Well, you started the journey. You started the process. You were there. You just decided to make a different decision.
Yep.
With mom's help.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mom's encouragement.
University of Nebraska, 4-year degree, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go down a different path, and real estate was a really great move. So
yeah, I lost on another note. I lost to Nebraska in the first round of the NCAA's wrestling tournament in '96 in overtime. So there's a special place in my heart for Nebraska.
Yeah,
it's a good wrestlers.
Yeah, great volleyball, great football. The football's getting a little rough these years, but Scott Frost is kind of taking a little bit of a beating, but great players, like
great athletes, top athletes. So took me down. So, but anyway, so then and along the way, at some point, you said 5 kids.
Yep, a mother of 5.
Yeah.
I have
what are their ages?
So my oldest daughter, she's 23. My youngest daughter is 12. So I have 3 girls and 2 boys.
Okay. 3 girls. Okay, 23. Youngest daughter is 12. And then how old are the boys?
So the older of my 2 boys, he'll be 19 in a couple days, and then my middle son is 15.
Okay. So how did you manage? I mean, how do you make that happen? It's not like you hear most people, I have a kid. Well, sometimes I have a couple of kids, but 5.
I love this question because number one, I thank God every day for the blessing of having my children. I am so grateful for them, and I think whether I would have had 1 or I have 5. You just manage it the same. It's the same. You give them whatever you have, and you try to make them into the best, most productive, contributing, loving human being you possibly can. So it doesn't matter to me whether I had 1 or if I had been blessed with 5. You give your kids all you got. The people around you, you pour you get into them. So I never really think of it as how do you manage? Because you just do. I wanted a big family, and I was blessed with a big family. So voila, I got almost as big of a basketball team, really.
That's right. Yeah, you did. You got 5, yeah. I get, because I get the same. I have 4. So, so I get the same thing. And I always say that it's, after 2, it's kind of just more. 2 to 10 is probably the same. I mean, and then they start to help each other. It actually gets a little easier when you have more.
Right. Well, and Chris applied the military phrase, many hands make light work. So in my household, my kids are expected to help, so I don't really feel like life is so overwhelming, or oh my gosh, how do you manage with all those kids and whatever, because they're all expected to contribute. I expect them to do laundry. I expect them to help clean the house and do dishes and all those things, and they take value and ownership when they're helping. So that's the way I see it. I apply that old military statement of, hey, many hands make light work. And it works.
And how what is the expectation with their real estate licenses? Have any of them expressed an interest? I know my kids.
My oldest son has. Yes, my oldest son actually wants to come work with us. So we'll see more about that, because I do think it's really important for young adults to work for someone besides their parents. I think they need to learn respect. They need to learn boundaries from someone besides within their own family unit before he would come on board with me. But I'm never one to really push an agenda with my kids. I want them to figure out what they're really good at, and then whatever it is, go be the best at it. Whether they're a teacher, a scientist, a janitor, a doctor, whatever it is, just be great at it. So
just give your all. That's all.
Yeah. I don't want to push my agenda on them for because it might not be what they want.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll encourage when the time is right, like your mom did. Right.
Well, and everybody has their own strengths, and so.
Yeah, and all our kids are different.
Yeah.
At least mine are. They're all different.
Right.
So you could see it as the parent. It's cool. I love having lots of kids. So.
Yeah, it's great to be a witness.
Yeah.
And see them develop and figure out what their strengths are and play to the strengths.
Yeah. And when they interact, and when they loving each other, and when they're fighting each other, then the trigger things. It's when it's brewing, when something's about to.
Right. And you got to bring the slip out.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Throw the check down.
Right. All right. So tell me about your team, your current team. What does that look like?
Yeah, so I currently have 2 teams. I run a team here in Florida on the Florida Gulf Coast. I also still maintain a team in Nebraska in the Midwest. I'm military, so my military base in Omaha is off it. And so I still have a large database there that we take care of. So have a small team of 3 agents in Nebraska. We have admin support, and down here there's 4 agents besides me. So, we're small, like a small, mighty team is what I call us. And so we operate in 2 states, maybe currently coming to another state. I don't know yet.
Coming soon.
But yeah, we all bring different strengths to the team, and I'm really happy to maintain a small group to be working with.
Cool. And
Phenomenal people.
what does that either volume look like or units like how, for that? Because I know with your military background, I know you're cracking the whip. I know you're running lean and mean.
Yeah,
So-
well, this last couple of years, we've actually taken a little bit of a slowdown. And I say that because we had to implement some new systems, and I'm totally fine with that. That really needed to happen, I think. And I think like what Jason had talked about yesterday about, agents that really made it big in this last year or 2, they really didn't have to do a lot to make that happen. And so I really took that as an opportunity where I really wanted us to grow and deepen our skill set and deepen our operations. I mean, obviously, we had a lot of clients to take care of this last couple of years, like so many markets did because of the, housing shortage. But we really went heavy into systems this last couple of years. So I've actually just gone heavy into recruitment and systematizing and operationalizing the team,
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you and me both having system issues, right? With the CRM, learning new CRM.
Yeah, like
we're learning at the same
going
time.
slow to grow fast.
Yep.
It's been very, very high on my radar. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now, because I mean, to even run, 2 teams and serve as many clients as you do, I'm sure it wasn't always this way.
right.
And I know you said you did some new construction, but once you kind of got out of that realm, just in terms of serving, normal Joe and Susie buyer, residential real estate, what did that look like initially?
Well, that's a really great question you asked, because what was so different from that new build environment to being a single agent, there's this whole idea, and I probably bought into it just like so many other agents do, that you think that when you step away from that one realm, that all of a sudden everybody's going to come to you and they're going to want you to help them. Like, oh, I got my real estate license. Now everybody's going to want me to help them. But that just isn't the case. And, truly, you may be called a realtor, but you're really a marketer. And so what I had to relearn as soon as I went off on my own and opened up my own brokerage was that I have to market myself. I have to go out for business, where when I was in new builds, they truly came to me. And
Right, they literally walked in.
they literally did, and because the product really was enticing and it brought a lot of people through, they did a ton of marketing. So they did a lot of that behind the scenes stuff that then, me being my own indie broker, I had to rebuild that. I had to create all that and realize, like, oh my gosh, this is really the hustle and grind of what this business really looks like. And so truly, the way I actually kickstarted my business was I went and I started to go after for sale by owner. And
Right.
and so just down to the basics, like
Just good old
literally beat the
FSBOs.
pavement.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. FSBOs and so then you built from there.
Yeah, and for anybody who doesn't know what that is, that's for sale by owners. So those FSBOs, that was the first market that I targeted in my past client database that I had helped while I was in new construction. So,
Okay. Do you still work? Have you taught your team how to work the for sale by owners now?
yes, we
Okay.
we regularly script and role play, and we do what we call dialing for dollars. We do daily lead generation on the team, script and role play. So even at 20, 21 years in the business, we are actively script and role playing day in and day out. And the reason why I still do that is because I recognize the value of it. So if I'm doing it at 21 years in the business, then it's testament to why a brand new agent or a younger agent, junior agent, needs to be doing that too.
So you
It's
mean
effective?
right? So you mean you want to be a professional and you need to practice?
Yeah.
Is that's right?
Yeah, you cannot, you have to continuously learn in this business. You have to continuously be a student of this business to learn and stay relevant.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the things change. The market's changing. Environment's changing.
Yeah.
Who would have thought COVID would come? I mean, so we have to constantly learn and develop, and that's otherwise.
Darwinism. You either evolve or you die.
Yep.
It's very simple.
Yeah, I say that all the time. Either you're growing or you're shrinking.
Right?
Yep. You're not.
There is
still.
this.
Right.
You're this or you're this.
That's it.
Yeah. So we have to actively be growing the business. Yeah.
All right. So now the title. Let's talk real. Tell us share a real story that you had, like, or some situation that was. You can feel free to use your imagination. Did you have something interesting?
Heck, I had so many funny stories. I mean, I had this one family that I helped. I don't know if this is the kind of story you want, but like I had a family that I had helped, and they worked for PayPal. They relocated out of the area, and when they moved, they had this beautiful home. This is in the Midwest. This is with my Omaha team. They had a beautiful home up in Dundee, and when they left the house, I didn't know this at the time, but they left their cat. So they book out of town. They're gone, right? Like they are gone.
Okay.
And then like they're closing.
Oh.
Well, so like 2 days after closing, I get the call like, hey, Kelly, there's this cat scratching at the buyer's door, and the cat is crying and, going on and on. And he's really annoying. So I get a hold of the sellers and they said, oh yeah, we forgot the cat. We're going to come back for him in 6 months. So my joke was, hey, the cat is personal property. You need to take him with you.
Right.
So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's funny. I had a dog situation like that. Same exact thing, but they weren't coming back. They intentionally left it.
Right.
It was terrible. The pound had to come or whatever. So, but yeah, no, that's funny.
Yeah. I had a story. I fell off a porch. I was over doing prep work on a listing. I was cleaning the windows, and like doing my wax on, wax off. And it was a small porch. It was a little split entry. And I worked my way over and I just fell right in the bush, So all kinds of funny stuff.
Right. Yeah. Those things happen to us. Yeah. Right. And if anything, the only thing missing would have been to have a camera set up to catch that on video. Then you could have gone viral.
Like I said, in my high school, my college years, thank God Facebook wasn't around.
Right. Or Instagram.
There were no phones, because I fell right in the hedges on the property. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So if we had, and with your 2 locations, Gulf Coast and Omaha, right? So if we had, if we maybe we're an agent that wanted to join your team, or if we had a house we wanted to sell, or maybe wanted to buy either in the Gulf Coast area or in Omaha, Nebraska, how would we reach you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram. That's a great way to look me up. It's my platforms are always under my name, Kelly Gitt _Florida Homes, Kelly Gitt _Omaha Homes. You can call me directly, 941-799-9299. But I'm everywhere, Melvin. If you find Melvin, you'll find me.
That's right. That's right. Well, the quote of the day. Let me give the quote of the day.
I can give you my quote if you like it.
All right. Yeah, let's hear it.
Never give up. That is my quote. And I live by that because you know what? This business takes tenacity. And the only way you fail in this business is if you quit. The only way you fail in life is if you quit. So you never give up. Never, ever, ever give up.
I love that. Yeah, that's never give up. You can be, this is like in wrestling or in most sports, you could be down by 100 points, but if you don't quit, you can still win. You see it all the time, those big turnarounds, those big comebacks. So yeah,
I believe that. It's Winston Churchill's quote, but you know what? I believe it. Like I believe it deep in my soul, like deep in my DNA. You never, ever quit. You never give up.
Yeah, and if you don't quit, right? You said, then you can't. If you don't quit, you can't lose.
Right.
So all right, we'll stick with that. I love that quote. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Boom.